It wasn't until the CEO spotted the face identical to his own on the marriage certificate that it finally dawned on him he was the very husband of the woman he'd been secretly in love with. It all started 3 years ago, when the two had gotten married for love. But after the wedding, the CEO grew cold and distant toward the woman. In the end, the enraged woman smashed a flower pot against his head. Unexpectedly, the blow wiped his memory of their entire 3-year marriage, leaving him with only the memories of the days when they were in love. But the woman only wanted to take this chance to break away from him completely. She told him right away that she had married someone else, which sent the amnesiac CEO into a complete breakdown in an instant. Refusing to give up, he braved the pouring rain to go downstairs to the woman's apartment building, put on a pitiful look, and hoped that the woman would take him in. Fortunately, the woman finally couldn't suppress the love in her heart, went downstairs, and brought him up. But when she thought of the emotional coldness he'd inflicted on her after the marriage, the woman lied and told him he was her lover. She made up a story that he'd fallen ill 3 years ago and became infertile, and had chosen to break up with her to avoid holding her back, only staying by her side as a lover ever since. The woman had thought the CEO would never believe her lie, but he accepted this new identity in barely a minute. The CEO said he would do anything, as long as he could stay by her side. Then, on a whim, the woman made him work as her personal manservant. She not only ordered him to wash her feet with his own hands, but also filmed his flustered and humiliated state with her phone. When the CEO hesitantly asked if he'd waited on her like this for the past 3 years, the woman put on a sad, vulnerable look and said he was free to leave any time. In that instant, the CEO became completely convinced of his identity as her lover. Just then, the doorbell suddenly rang. After the woman picked up the food delivery and returned to the room, she found the CEO was nowhere to be seen. It wasn't until she turned her head that she spotted the corner of his coat caught in the wardrobe door. Biting back a laugh, she opened the wardrobe and sure enough, found the CEO huddled pitifully inside. It turned out he'd mistakenly thought the woman's husband had come home, so he'd hidden in a panic. The woman couldn't hold back her laughter any longer at this. The next morning, when the woman woke up, she saw the CEO trying to learn to cook for her. His clumsy look touched her deeply, but when she turned and saw the dress on her sofa, she instantly remembered how all her tender care for the CEO in the past had been met with nothing but cold indifference. So she changed into the dress and walked out of the room immediately. The CEO tried to ask her to stay and eat with him, but the woman only said she was going on a date with her husband before turning and leaving the CEO alone drowning in silent grief. But he had no intention of giving up just like that. He took his assistant and headed straight for the place where the woman was on her date. The second he saw the two of them acting intimately, he could no longer contain the rage boiling up inside him. Seeing this, the woman deliberately teamed up with her friend to trick the CEO. Sure enough, it only took 5 minutes to make the CEO fly into a violent rage. That very night, he begged the woman to leave her husband and marry him. But the woman lied, saying she'd lost her marriage certificate and couldn't get a divorce. Unexpectedly, the CEO pulled out her marriage certificate the very next second. The woman was instantly thrown into a blind panic. Once he opened it, every single one of her lies would be completely exposed.